Hey guys, VTech here, Blueberry Hill. So we're taking a little different turn. We've got bad weather coming up for a couple, 3-4 days, so we decided to work on the floors on the inside of the container house. We have roughly 37 square feet. We have to grind and prep for our framing. We have to get things smooth, get it to the nice consistency. This was supposed to be a troweled concrete floor. We never got the trowel part in, but regardless, we went ahead and rented a floor grinder from Sunbelt. Crew out in San Antonio. They're concrete floor experts. A guy named Shawn's helping me out. I've worked with him before several years ago. Did a job for my business. Anyway, he rented us this 110 volt grinder and a big vacuum. You can see kind of the red thing in the back. It's a very healthy vacuum cleaner that sucks up all the stuff off the floor. You can actually put it on the vacuum itself, the grinder itself, and it'll suck up the fine particles. You should use a respirator, etc. with this, because grinding concrete is not really healthy for you if you breathe it. So anyway, in trying to be safe, we're doing all the precautions, and we're playing with this thing. So the grinder is using what we call red pucks for hard concrete. A little while later, I'm going to show you. I'm going to swap over to what's called yellow for soft concrete, and the pucks we use, the diamond pucks. They do the grinding, and they need lubrication from the powder itself, as well as being aggressive enough to cut into the concrete. I'll show you how I'm going to change them out to yellows the next day. This is our first day we're doing this. We're trying the reds. They worked okay. It's just that it ate the pucks really quickly. So Shawn's recommendation was to switch to the yellows, and luckily I had a set from a prior job from years ago. Shawn helped me with that one too. Anyway, we swapped over and we did the entire job with the yellow pucks. Yay! So if you haven't seen a kind of a big grinder for concrete, there's usually 3 heads, and they have these pucks with diamond little round things on them. You can see the little round heads. They're about a quarter size. The yellows are 30. These are 30 grit. The reds were 30 grit as well. And I'm having a little bit of struggle with putting the key in to lock the pucks in place. The other two were just fine. This one gave me a little problem, so I had to play with it a little bit. It was not fun. This took me more than probably about a half an hour to get in there. You didn't see that part. Anyway, here's the first grind with the 30 grit yellows. They work the same as the 30s. It's just that the yellows last a very long time. We did the entire job with the yellows, and we still had a third left over of the diamond pucks themselves. Anyway, you see a lot of dust. The reason you see a lot of dust is because we did not actually have the concrete troweled. We had it screeded. That's it. So they actually, if you might have seen the videos before, they laid the concrete down, screeded it, and left it alone. So this is a lot of cream stuff on top of the concrete. Didn't quite do like normal for like our shop and our garage, the garage that's attached to the container house. It's done differently, and it's a completely different level of concrete. Anyway, here you see me using the shop vac, their vac rather. It works extremely well. It sucks pretty good. Angie's using a squeegee that we had. We have 2 of these somewhere around the shop, but the broom just makes a lot of dust. So the squeegee itself actually piles the powder together without making a big mess. It doesn't get airborne. It just kind of piles it up. And the reason, I had no idea this would work, but we decided to try it, and Angie was working right around the machine when I was playing. So I'm grinding, and she's trying to get it away from the machine so I can see what I'm doing. And for the most part, the concrete looks in extremely good shape. We do want a little rough look, what they call like the salt look. If you ever seen concrete with salt thrown into it, it leaves little divots. We like that a lot, and that's what we kind of want inside the house as well. So after I want to show you every single room we're doing, because it's probably a little bit boring. You're watching us just grind and clean up. But this is our bedroom. Angie's kind of in the closet right now, and the 2 middle windows. You can see the window on the right there. That's actually our bathroom. So we're working through the grinding of the master bedroom, what we call the double wide containers. And I put a layer of concrete, a little slurry, on a couple areas that needed a little bit of tension months ago, and now we're grinding them out. Here you see us doing the living room area, and she's doing the squeegeeing, and we're trying to work around the doors on the left and the windows on the right, and just making it all work together. Anyway, pretty straightforward. It was many hours. We did I'll say roughly 15 to 18 hours of grinding. It was, it's rinse and repeat kind of work. Not a whole lot of fun, but it's kind of rewarding because afterwards the floor looks really nice. So it was interesting. I actually talked to Shawn about it, but the vacuum is not supposed to suck up the dust from the machine as you're grinding. It's supposed to suck it up from the ground with the wand. So we're both kind of doing a little bit of double duty. Angie's squeegeeing and I'm sucking up all the stuff that we just ground a few minutes ago. What I want to show you, hey, there's whiskey, yay. We're moving around the living room area. We have the doors in place. We have windows against the wall. We're going to move all those, of course, so we can get behind them. But the doors are heavy. I was just Angie and me moving them. The windows are not so bad. But anyway, it takes a little bit of effort. We both ended up being dirty as heck. The powder is just gets every inch of you. So, but anyway, you can see how the floor comes out really nice. It feels so much better in there right now. You just walk through and everything's ground. It feels consistent, nice and flat, easy to walk on. We're gonna love it. So a little more about the machine I'm using is one of the smaller ones they have from Sunbelt. It's just 110 volt, no big deal. And then of course the vacuum is 110 as well. But the vacuum has a interesting concept that it's got a very large filter, and it dumps out the bottom, and it's basically a sausage tube kind of plastic pipe, and you make balls of concrete dust. And then you tie strap it and cut it off, and then you allow for the next one to come out. Anyway, here's our 15-year-old puppy. Not a puppy, she's old. Supervising us. She, the dogs were funny. They would lay down in the middle of the floor while we were doing all this noise. The grinder's not very quiet, the vacuum's not quiet, and they just kind of hung out with us. So that was kind of interesting. But anyway, so we're making pretty good work of the floor. It didn't take too long to actually make to grind the top surface out. Again, we're just trying to get the secreted junk off the surface, make it nice and smooth. If we see any stained areas, or not stained, but imperfect areas, we can grind those down a little more. But we're not trying to get a mirror finish. We are not going for a high gloss kind of a floor, which is mirror-like. We like a little bit of texture. This is 30 grit again. We're gonna stop there. So we're gonna do a densifier hardener on the floor. Then we're gonna acid wash it. We have those things picked out. We'll show you that in the future videos. And then we're gonna do a urethane, polythane, or whatever they call it, floor covering to seal it all up and make it withstand traffic, etc. We're going for more of a kind of a commercial aspect of it. I've probably said commercial a couple times. The residential stuff they sell to people like at Home Depot and Lowe's. I don't want to criticize it too much, but it's not really meant for any kind of real traffic use. It might work for a little while, but it's not going to put up with the abuse and stuff for years and years. So when you go to like restaurants, showrooms, commercial areas, that's the kind of material we're going to be using to put up with the traffic and the demands that we think we're going to put all this stuff to. There's Izzy, so I have to push Izzy out of the way. She just stands in one spot, doesn't move. But anyway, we're doing a pretty good job, we think, and we're just moving on. So it's good to have Angie's help on this. Obviously, she's got I have a respirator. She just has a mouth thing. The amount of powder, you don't see any powder coming off the machine at all. It's pretty good. It keeps it contained in the head, and then Angie's sucking it up with the pretty badass vacuum. Anyway, for the most part, I'm gonna have to come back with a hand grinder a little bit. If you see the imperfect areas by that wall right there, the machine won't be able to get into that area, so I'm gonna have to do a tiny bit of hand grinding. Just for when we put the walls up, and the 2x is going to sit on the floor. We are going to use a foam bottom under the bottom sill. just to let the imperfections of the concrete and the 2x kind of match up. It's not going to be a big deal. It's just so we don't have to make everything super flat. But for the most part, if we see something that's jutting out there, we'll make it work. Whoa, sorry about that camera movement. But anyway, here we are. Oh, hey, and here we are. So I'm going to go right into the upstairs. So the next day, this is, April 30th. So Angie and I, the day before, I was pretty dead tired. I probably did 8-9 hours of grinding the day before, with Angie's help for cleaning up and stuff. Anyway, we were pretty tired. I was kind of spent. We did get the machine up on the second floor. Angie grabbed the handles and I grabbed the bottom, and we heaved it up. We did take the weights off. Thank you very much. And anyway, we got it done. We put it up there, and the next day I just basically started it, and off I went. That took me roughly about 2.5 to 3 hours for grinding, plus all the cleanup, and then running the vacuum through the entire house again. Angie and I, we don't show you the video of this, but we broomed the entire house, and the brooming just lets all the concrete powder just kind of come to the surface, and then we vacuumed it again. So we had an extra ball of vacuum dust at the end of it all. And here you see that's a pretty good example of how much surface grinding it's doing. It goes fairly quick, although when there's ridges with the cream that's got a little lip, it takes a little while to grind that out. But anyway, it's all rinse and repeat. It all worked out pretty good, and we're very happy with the result. So it's in all respects, it's kind of fun working with these machines, right? These things do a job, and when it's doing the right job, you feel pretty good about it. Angie was actually working. She has, both have work to do. So she was working, and I was doing this by myself for this period of time. So I had to do the grinding and the cleanup. So it took a little longer. She comes into the picture a little while later when we do the cleanup of the house. But anyway, you can see the piles of grind and dust right there. It's pretty substantial, but it's extremely rewarding for some reason or other. So the grinder has a lip around the base, so it contains the grind itself. But you can see me pushing it around, right? So it works pretty good. That's quite a bit of dust. I'm not sure if I'm going to shoot the video of how many bags of dust we have, but there's quite a bit of trash. We're just going to throw it on the property somewhere. You're not supposed to breathe it, but we'll just dump it out on the rocks and stuff, and it'll be just fine. But regardless, this machine works really good. In some respects, I wish I had one that was a little bit heavier, so we can go a little bit quicker. But a couple hours of work on the upper floor wasn't too bad. So the fun part was trying to get near the stair area. There's a steel lip around the whole thing that I welded in, if you've seen the other videos. Anyway, the concrete goes right up to the lip. In some cases it kind of goes over a little teeny bit, but I don't want to hit the diamond blades on the diamond pucks on the steel. I'm not sure what that would do, but I didn't want to find out. So I was trying to stay away from the steel and just kind of get near it. That's why I'm doing the side-to-side motion. In fact, doing the side-to-side was actually a pretty good method. Just going straight up and down is not the right approach. I think going sideways to make everything smoothed out was pretty good. The grind was not super aggressive with this machine, so there was no way of making. Well, yeah, here you see me do the squeegee myself. So you can see how smooth it got. Got smooth pretty quick, right? And then I vacuumed this stuff up at some point, maybe now. But anyway, it does a pretty quick job. The hardener densifier that we're going to put in a couple days, that will actually make the concrete super hard and ready for the acid stain. We'll talk about that when we get to that phase as well. So we're going to switch to a slightly different camera. We're using a Sony, and for some reason or other, this camera, I think it built some static up on the lens. And as I'm doing this, it'll actually get foggier, which is kind of interesting. By the way, this was a very humid day. It was raining outside, so that might be another reason the camera didn't do as like the GoPro does, but whatever. Anyway, I'm near the last few feet of the game room. That area right there was a bit of a pain. It had a little lip on it right against the wall, so that took me a little bit longer than expected, but regardless, we got it done. Next few minutes you'll see me finishing up here, and then of course Angie and I walked the machine downstairs. This was Friday the 30th, and then by around 2 o'clock, I guess 2:30, I left to return the machine to Sunbelt San Antonio. Anyway, I'm pretty happy. I don't even know what the rental cost. Don't really care, because it doesn't matter. The job was done. I don't want to sound like that, but you know, when you have a tool and you're doing the job, the tool is pretty much 90% of the work right there. So anyway, they did the trick. The Sunbelt guys are pretty cool. Here, see the camera getting a little foggy? I have no idea why, but anyway, there you go. So you see me, I let the grinder kind of run while I'm trying to pack away some of the dust, but anyway, not a big deal. It doesn't walk too far, so it was all good. And as per usual, I have to shoot the last part of whatever I'm doing, right? So this is near the finale of the second floor. So I got a couple square feet left. Gonna take care of it, and then we're gonna be done with this video. Yay! Anyway, hey, I really appreciate you guys watching. This is not a small undertaking, of course. It's a 3,700 square foot house. You know, we're biting off a lot, but at the same time, it's going to be super rewarding when we're done. You notice there's no windows in this upper area. We're going to start those in the next couple days. We can't do them right now because it's raining, so we're going to wait. But we wanted to get the floors done all together. And anyway, we're going to put big windows and a slider over here, so we'll have a lot of light up in the second floor as well. This is what we're calling the game room, so we'll see how that turns out, but it should be pretty fun. The views are going to be fantastic because we are in kind of a hill country area, and the sunsets and stuff are beautiful. But anyway, I appreciate it. Come back, subscribe, and we'll talk at you later. Ciao.